What's up, people? This is Driftwood. I am here today to do some replay review. I'm excited about it. This is something I want to be doing more of because it helps me get better as a player, but it also helps you, whoever I am reviewing. And today I have DoctaDigital, who is a close friend of mine, plays Juri. Can play a few characters, but Juri is definitely their main. And we're going to be reviewing a set with them and Erebus, who is a very strong player, today using Luke, who, as we know, just got buffed. So Luke is deadly out there right now, and there are a lot of reasons why. We may get into it, depending on what I see going on with this set. However, before we get into it, if you are somebody who would like to have your replay reviewed, all you got to do is let me know, either in our comments on this video, or you can DM me, which is on Discord, on the Moon Marauders Discord. I will leave a link to that in our description here. Or you can just find me on X or any of my other random stuff, like my Twitch account, and leave me a note, and I'll do your replay. So what we're going to be doing today is looking for any kind of patterns that might be opportunities to improve game knowledge. So things you might not know about a matchup or your own character, as well as optimization opportunities, and kind of create a better game plan for at least this specific matchup moving forward. And also, a lot of times, an improvement that you might make in one matchup is something that, depending on what the item is, can improve your game all around in every matchup. So those are like the biggest wins. We're also going to talk a little bit about the end, about what you're doing well, and what to prioritize learning moving forward. And not just like what can you be doing better, but how to do it. All right, so this is the first to three today. And I'm going to go ahead and hide the inputs. Those can be helpful sometimes, but I just don't want them in the way right now. And let's see what's going on. So I'm going to be rewinding this as we go on, but you can see there's kind of a whiff button here. Obviously, we don't want to be whiffing buttons for no point. So, punish counter hit opportunity here. I think if you had done standing light kick, you could get a punish into uppercut. But if this is all you're going to get, not terrible. But just know that that's not going to reach. Obviously, that is very close to connecting. So don't fault you too much. You just don't want that to be a habit. You can see right here, after this jump in, that is a very risky challenge to do because the opponent is going to be very plus on their jump in. So pressing a button is already kind of risky. However, if you are going to press a button, you certainly need to be ready for it to combo. This did exactly what you wanted, which was you got a counter hit here, but we don't see a combo because you go into fierce. If that's not going to combo, you need to go into a smaller button, like a crouch jab into a crouch medium punch. Would have been a better option. And then you have plenty of drive bar. You could have got a combo Oki situation after that. So again, if you're going to press a button in the middle of their string, it's probably going to counter hit. Be ready for that to counter hit and get the right combo. Ah, drop combo there. Now I'm just keeping notes on the side. Combo routing. So we can address it later. But right here, big fat jumping. That honestly, if you look at this situation right here, should have been game. You can do a two-hit combo here. Two-piece, cancel into drive rush. You can do 2 drive rushes, combo into level 1, and you would be golden with this round. I like the back throw, though, to keep him in the corner. Good challenge. Oh no, that should have been a game there for Erebus, but you got lucky. So we'll take that.
Round 2.
Alright, what's your opener? Alright, we're playing Nooch. I respect that. Get some space, we jump out. Back to Nooch. What I like about that is last time Luke went with this string, you tried to press, this time correctly blocked, so there are adjustments on defense. That is key. Very good. Ooh, you got those? No unks here. Back throw is a great move here, especially because you don't have a lot of meter. Now, I don't love that. When you get your opponent in the corner, you really want to be thinking about how can I keep them there. And slow, big buttons usually can hit from far away, but they have a lot of forward momentum, or they keep you in place for a long time. And those are very easy to be jumped. And you do not want to have someone jump over you when you put them in the corner, because suddenly you are in the corner. So it's like you did all the work walking your opponent to the corner, and then you gave it up for free and did the work for them. Jumping forward in the corner when you're pressuring them is also kind of the same thing, because they can go underneath you, and effectively it's the same where the opponent gets out. Uppercut scramble. I don't love how often you challenge after drag rush. It worked there, but you really should be dead. So generally, like if you see green and you want to press a button, there's certain situations where there are times where you have to, but if you are picking a time where you have to, it should be because you have low life or low drive bar and you have to do something, because not pressing means they're going to like put you into burnout or they're going to win the round. But you have a life lead here and enough bar to take this. I don't really love this challenge. Okay, we're gonna see level 3 here? Nope. Wow, what a read. Spend it. One more loop. Spend. Should be enough. The backdash was risky, but it worked. You had the right read. So, round goes to you. That's 1-0 Doctor. That time I would say your combo routing was absolutely phenomenal. Great job. We're going to move forward in the set. Try not to look at the screen if you don't want spoilers, because I already know what the set score is. Oh, great. We're going from the bottom. The folks at home won't know.
Nowhere to run.
Let me have some fun.
Round 1. Fight. Where you going?
2 jumps in a row. Probably could have put pressure on without that. Again, a challenge. Very ballsy with button presses. Doctor. Okay, what just happened? He drive rushed in, and you press a button. And you got counter hit. You're very lucky that this didn't hit you for like 3,000 damage. Oof. Swinging, huh? I don't like the decision to burn out and spend so much bar, but obviously right now you kind of want to get your meter back any way you can. It's dangerous to commit to, especially 2-hit moves, when you're in burnout. And a safer option is to stick with like a jab string, like a jab jab. If they DI, you can train yourself to be ready to throw them, okay? Let's write that down. And in burnout, a lot of times when you're in mid-screen, like you want to be ready to use movement options like jump forward, or sometimes even backdash to avoid whatever they're doing and get out of the pressure. Challenged again. Didn't work.
Let's go! Round 2. Fight!
Where you go? 10 left! Too slow! 10 left! 10 left! 10 left! Where you going? Go to sleep! Crunch time! Too slow!
This situation is kind of what I'm talking about when you're low on bar and you might have to make a decision when to challenge against your opponent, because pressing a button is scary. Uppercutting will obviously put you in burnout. This is a bad situation to be when you're under 2 bars, and with their level 3 combo, you might just be close to burnout and then almost dead. Missed combo, you're getting a chance here. Bad punish. So if you see this, a medium punch would have been better routing here to start everything. You could do medium punch into kind of any special into level 3, and that way you don't spend bar, rebuild bar, and do pretty good damage to them. But I like the decision to jump over. That's smart. Spend bar here. Okay. Because of the situation, if you want to think you're in a tournament and you cannot afford to lose this game, your drive bar is very low. The next hit will kill you, pretty much any hit except a throw. And the next block string will put you into burnout. Plus, you can't afford to lose this round because your opponent already has a round. The safest option here would have been to go into level 3 to get the bar back. I don't know what's going to happen, but you're risking a lot. So 1-1 right now. Generally, I'm seeing kind of a pattern of behavior of like you're challenging a lot. You are, and what I mean by that is you are pressing buttons when you are negative after your opponent has drive rushed or when they're plus buttons. And you're also using jump forward a lot to create offensive opportunities, especially when your opponent is in the corner. And it seems like you don't know how to leverage the corner for your own benefit. Let's go to the next one.
Nowhere to run.
Let me have some fun.
Round 1. Fight!
Where you
I don't hate that at the beginning when you have enough life to take it. Here I would focus getting on your meter back. This is another be ready for it situation. So you're gonna go forward here. Your opponent doesn't decides to respect your pressure and then challenges, and you find another counter hit. You do jab into a counter hit jab. This is a situation that's gonna happen a lot. What do you do here, right? You need to be ready to combo, and you missed. You need to know that if you're not point blank and that won't hit, go to a different option. It could have been a drive rush cancel. That's risky because of where you're at in bar, or it could have been stand light kick. Kind of scrambling to get out because your meter is so low, but just think you're in this boat. This is why we don't do big buttons. Exactly in reverse. Now we see Erebus stuck in the corner and a chance for you to come back. Ow. And really, the reason that you're in this burnout strings right now and this pressure where it's really difficult to defend is because you've been spending so much meter and deciding to do this. You put yourself in this risk. So even though you have a life lead, look how small it is. I wouldn't feel comfortable about winning this round. And you should be dead. Exactly. Again, the forward jump, a combination of like having no resources and the forward jump, putting you in trouble.
Round 2. Fight!
Erebus doing a good job of exactly what I want you to do is when they pressure with a medium punch or with a button in between, ready to combo. Spending it all. Are we going to see a level 3? No, but only one hit. Ow, you're dead. Oh no! Just to clarify something, when you yourself are in the corner, sometimes you do need to forward jump out. I would say that this is really the best time to forward jump, but you can't do it predictably so. So the way that you tried to get out here, I don't hate. Unfortunately, you kind of didn't get the distance that you wanted because Erebus walked back. Oh, drop combo. So here's an opportunity for you. It is a very hard one to make happen. There are better options here when you go for this counter hit. Okay. So what we really want is a better counter hit confirm off of like a Drive Rush Light. Okay. So we'll investigate that, okay? And I'll show you how to do that after. Burn out here. Did we have to? I know you get a counter hit. You get a medium punch. And so you decide to go into this Drive Rush combo. But think, did you need to? At this moment in time, you could have comboed a level 3 here. Just raw off of the crouch medium punch. You would have gained meter. Your opponent would still be in burnout. Obviously they have meter, it's scary, they can reversal, but that's going to be the case anyways, right? Instead, you do barely more damage, right? And you put yourself into burnout. I love the bait. Bummer. Hey, how did you die? Let's see. Forward jump, right? Dead. If you want to be ready for these kinds of situations where it's scrambly and you have no life, it's about understanding what your opponent can do ahead of time. Think about it before you're in these situations so that when you find yourself in that situation, you can be ready. So, from here, let's just say this distance right here, what can kill you? Chip Fireball, any kind of chip at all, pressure into a special, like a normal into a special, obviously blocking like a level 1 or a level 3. There are a lot of things that can kill you, but you also have level 3, so you're very close to killing your opponent. From this distance, it's kind of ambiguous of whether or not Luke's uppercut can kill you. They don't really want to rely on uppercut as a chip here. Luke might want to do like low forward into Sandblast or some kind of option, crouch medium kick into Sandblast. Your job is to be ready for a whiff punish or ready to level 3 through whatever Luke does, okay? That is going to be a more reliable comeback situation than trying to jump. So in this situation, level 3, but start buffering or make the hard decision to stay on the ground and be ready. If they try to chip you, you can level 3 the normal. It's hard, but it's, again, what you gotta do because you're in this shitty situation, right? Not forward jump, especially after you've done it 20 times in a set. So that's 2-1 Erebus. Going into, looks like the last game. But you took a round this time, so let's see how.
Nowhere to run.
Let me have some fun.
Round 1. Fight.
Where you going? Gotcha.
If you're gonna challenge, what do we need to do? Be ready to counter hit combo. Okay? to fix my webcam real quick. I don't know why it does this, but it does. Cool. Here we go. Off a Drive Rush Roundhouse, you have like 27 days, not frames, days for your confirm, so don't drop that. Forward jump, you're gonna get hit every time. He's already shown you that you can't forward jump predictably. Okay, we're in that situation where like it's chip is very, very obvious. You are too far away to go through any kind of fireball with a super. Plus you only have level 1, which can't anyways. So the further away Erebus gets, kind of the better his win condition to chip you out, or the closer he gets. It's one of those, because close he can do a block string into a chip move. Far away he can throw fireballs safely, given the current situations. So you have to make a decision how to get in. Do you want to try and hope he doesn't chip you? You want to be surprising? If Erebus takes space backwards in this kind of crazy scrambly moment, you could do something like a forward dash, crouch medium kick, and then see if that hits. But instead, he took the space forward, right, and got you.
Round 2. Fight!
Where you going?
I like the backdash. Didn't really work out, but you notice that most of this match you are moving backwards. The reason is because you don't have the resources to contest. Is the second yet you get them, you spend them on drive rush cancels. And if they don't work, because you're just using them, as opposed to using them when they're guaranteed, you don't build back any bar, right? So if you whiff punish an opponent and you spend drive bar, but you're getting the combo after in the Oki situation, that helps you rebuild bar immediately. But if you just do it on a blocked opponent, you're losing meter and you're not getting yours back, right? And so until that you can apply some pressure and actually hit them. As such, when you're down on drive bar, your opponent's just going to pressure you because you don't want to block because they'll put you in burnout. So you back up instead of blocking. And ultimately, you end up in the corner. And that's kind of been the story of these matches. And then when you're in the corner, kind of spaz. I like that you did a drive rush. Why are we burning out? Is there any need to? So you get this hit. Why not just like... I don't really agree with that drive rush because you're so close to burnout, but you know, if you want to go for it, I get it. But I definitely don't agree with that drive rush cancel where you burn yourself out. I get that you're gonna win the round here, but it was by a stroke of dumb luck.
That felt good, didn't it? Come on now. Give me a little bit more.
Final round. Fight!
Okay, go. But again, look at where your drive meter is at. It's pretty low because of your decision making. You got underneath. Cool. And because you were low, you're now burnt out, right? It's good by Erebus to go over that fireball. Again, hits the forward jump out. You're stuck here. Reset, combo into you're probably dead. Nope, you get a chance. Immediately spend bar. Do we get a back throw here, I hope? Okay, good. Spend bar. Why are we going down? I get that he's in burnout. If Erebus was ready, he could have just level 3'd you right there, and you'd be dead.
Wrap this up.
Oh my god. So, this is a classic mistake. You threw a fireball right here, and you put it in Erebus's mind. You said, okay, you're in burnout, and I want to make something happen, and the way that I'm going to do that is by doing like a safe move or a fireball or something that will allow me to rush in and hit you and apply pressure. And you're doing it immediately the first second you get any opportunity. So then we kind of reset to neutral. You don't want to spend DX bar because it will put you in burnout. So what can you do? Well, you're over 1 bar. So the only other thing that's going to allow you to rush in and apply pressure other than a fireball is quite literally drive rush. This is all happening in Erebus's head. Okay? So Erebus knows this and is thinking, if you drive rush forward, what can I do to stop it? And they have level 3, and the answer is they're just level 3 if they're ready. So, boom. You're dead. And this man is not on modern, so that's like a real sick reaction, right? So 3-1 to Erebus. So here's our little notepad here. And we're gonna use this as we kind of like look at stuff. I'll turn it on and off. So we're gonna start with, what do I think you're doing well right here? Well, I think there are some situations where you were in a pressure situation and you needed to do the correct combo into level 3, like a high damage cash out combo to win. And those can be difficult to perform because you're doing them under pressure. You actually did do those pretty well. So that would be my good thing is when you actually find the hit and you're ready for a big punish combo, you've got that down. So what you could do better, these are kind of some of the opportunities down here. I think you could work on your combo routing, particularly in counter hit situations. So I'm going to put these together. These are really kind of what I'm looking at. Generally, I don't want you to challenge after you block your opponent's drive rush. That's a very specific thing. You really have to know that they're not going to do anything or they're going to try to do something bigger. So this, if you were to take into like, I'm going to try to prioritize this, I would just say this is the easiest thing you can do right away. Okay. And it's easy. You just keep blocking. So let's do that. Number 1, please don't challenge after drive rush. Just quit it. Don't do that. Now, this is another big piece of advice. When you're in burnout, I don't want you to commit to big moves. All right. So what am I talking about with big moves? I'm saying like when you're in burnout, let's not do roundhouses, especially predictably, because your opponent can DI and generally just will be able to manipulate really well. They can jump around things like this. And I also don't want you to do things like this, 2-hit moves when you're in burnout, because they're going to get absorbed by the armor and you're going to die. So when you're in burnout, stick to your kind of far, quick pokes. This is a great option when you are in burnout to say, I don't want you pressing forward, okay? They walk forward, you pressure like that. Pretty easy note there. Now, is that the most important thing? I don't think that's the most important thing, but I'm not sure where I'm going to put that yet. How many notes do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 options. Let's see what we do. This is probably also very important. I want you to burn out less, spend less bar, and learn to regenerate meter through block strings, okay? A lot of people in this game, they think about spending their resources, but they don't necessarily think about how to get it back. Cool. So when you have like no meter, let's just fix this. Say you're like at 1 bar, okay? What can you do? Now we see like we're obviously recovering here when I do stuff. How can I get meter back safely? Sometimes it's as simple as like a quick string. You know, like if you have a stock, just enough to kind of get away from your opponent's buttons. You have 2 goals. One is get meter back, and the other is to get away so that they can't poke at you and keep your bar going down, right? Obviously walking forward will help regenerate too. Even an easy string, something like that, look how much you just got back, okay? I don't want you to be at 1 bar and land a crouching medium kick and feel like you have to do drive push. That's a mistake. You need to know, like, what else can I do when I hit a low crouching medium kick? What else can I do? And a lot of that is planned already. So you're constantly looking at your meter and you're saying, okay, I only have like 1 bar. So if I hit, maybe I'll just keep it to that, right? If you have more, more resources, if it's a whiff punish and you want to cash out, then fine, it's guaranteed damage, and that might kill your opponent. That's one time where it's okay to go into burnout. Cool. So yeah, burnout less. That's very important. That's definitely number 2. So this option and this option are really the same, and I'm just going to show you how to use this, and we can take that off the list. I want you to have a counter hit option off of a jab. So there's a couple ways to do this. Number 1 is just put your opponent onto always counter, so that when you hit, you get a counter hit. And look at the frame advantage. So every time you hit jab and you get a counter attack, you get 6 frames. Well, what other moves do you have? You got this. You got this. Okay? So if you get the jab, whatever. Okay? I just want you to get used to testing your buttons. Okay, on counter hit, I can even go into a light kick. So maybe you don't want to, like, confirm. I don't even remember. You could even do, like, something like this. Right? We saw this happen a lot. So if I drive rush in, turn this off real quick just so I can see the frames. If I drive rush in, and I guess we should probably have meter now. I'm plus 2 frames here. Generally, what that means is that I can do a 5 frame move and still beat a jab. So what's our 5 frame? This. Okay. I could do this, and if it will hit them if they jab, in case I will prove it, I'll turn the jab on. Boom. Counter it. And now we can see I'm 5 frames after that, so I could technically do it again, but I'm too far. So you have to know what's going to hit. I guess we'll do that. Something like see? There you go. Depending on the range, you got to make sure that the jab hits close enough, because if you do like max range jab, maybe you won't be able to reach, okay? But that's why it's important to kind of know your timings and your distance and spacing and such. And there are other drive rush confirms. I'm not saying this is the optimal counter hit confirm. I just want to explain the concept. I'm going to put don't commit to big moves during burnout because, and when I say big moves, I mean like big and slow moves, all right? It's a really easy thing to implement. You just kind of keep it in your head. Every time you go into burnout, you're like, oh crap, all I really can do right now is sort of like poke at my opponent, keep them at bay, maybe try to jump over them if you get too close to the corner. Maybe a sneaky forward dash. So if you're like in the corner, you can sometimes forward dash and then throw them the other way. And your opponent might not be ready. So it would look like you're stuck in the corner, dash in, throw. But certainly not trying to do like, whoa, or this, okay? A whiff punish sweep is okay, but a whiff punish is different. If you gotta use a big move to whiff punish, that's cool. We should think about whiff punishes as like a guaranteed damage because you earn the damage from reactions. And that means, lastly, we gotta learn how to keep the opponent in the corner. I will say, generally, that is like a huge topic. It takes a lot of time to learn how to do that, but the biggest thing that you can do right now to do that is stop forward jumping at your opponent when you've cornered them. So if they're here, all right, I know it's fun to get a jumping combo. You know, and then you get all of the different you're doing whatever, you know, into, I don't even know what Juri's got is. Found it out. But we want to keep them here. And they want to jump over you, or they want to drive rush in and hit you, or they want to throw you back into the corner. All right? Every player kind of has their own tendencies. I will say, when you get someone to the corner for the first time, give them some space and see what they do. There's sort of like types of players. Some players forward jump, some uppercut, some neutral jump, because they don't want to be obvious about forward jumping, but they still want to get off the ground where you can't hit them. Some people are really patient, which I love. Difficult to play against this type of player when they're patient and they kind of know how to deal. So be ready with your moves to walk up forward, poke, keep them here, and at all times be ready, because the second that you get this close, it opens up them jumping over you. So you can do a jump back button to keep them in the corner, or you can walk forward, walk back. Walk forward to make them jump, but you're immediately walking back, and then you'll be ready to so I'm going to bring up the list one more time for you to see. We've got don't challenge after drive rush. That's a really easy one. Burn out less. Use strings to regenerate your meter, okay? You're going to have to experiment to see which ones build the most meter safely, but that's kind of what you want to do. Learn your counter hit options off of a drive rush jab or whatever drive rush button that gets blocked. Learn what could happen next. Don't commit to big and slow moves when you're stuck in burnout. Learn how to keep your opponent in the corner, starting with don't jump forward at opponent in corner. Now, these are suggestions. There are going to be times where maybe you jump at your opponent in the corner. I will give one example. If it's a safe jump, you can jump at your opponent, like an Oki safe jump. But that's not a situation where you're in danger of them getting out. Okay? Generally, in neutral, don't jump forward at your opponent. Beautiful. So I hope this is helpful. The takeaways here are something that you can work on in any order, but I did my best to prioritize what I think would be the easiest changes so that you can get those wins later on. And then for viewers, if you like this, there will be a link to send me your replay reviews so that I can do this for you in the future. Good luck in ranked. Get them MR points. We'll see you out there.